Okay, Michelle, we're live.
Great.
So, what I'd like to do is share our program with you, and just so you know a little bit about myself, I have a history as an internist, a cardiologist. I have a master's of public health. I'm very active with health professional division at Take Shape for Life because they're really, uh, there are really two Take Shape for Lives, if you will, and that's kind of what I meant in terms of looking online. What we do is really different in terms of health professionals, in terms of the business, and to some degree, other things. We are COPE certified health coaches, my wife and I, and COPE stands for the McDonald Center of Obesity Prevention Education in partnership with the Villanova College of Nursing. So our certification is I think, pretty meaningful. Not that it's complicated, but it really puts us in a position to help people. So what do we do as coaches? We guide people to health. This is not a diet. There is a weight loss part of our program, but it is far more than that. It is really about helping people create healthy bodies by creating healthy minds. And the catalyst for long-term change is usually healthy weight loss, though not always. So we actually guide people on this path, because the things that create obesity it's multifactorial, as you know. It's not just nutrition. It's stress. It's lack of sleep. It's how we deal with stress. It's activity. It is all of those things, and we address all of those things. So this is, in summary, what our program is about. And I think that's important to establish, because people can, in fact, make good nutritional choices. But if the rest of their life is out of balance, Michelle, they will probably struggle.
Hmm. I would agree with that
Yeah,
for sure.
they'll probably struggle. So this is really where we are. Now, for many, the entry point is wanting to lose weight for
Sure.
obvious reasons. And we certainly help people with that. And we do that by guiding them on a path where they have success. And over time, we are always positioning ourselves so they can reflect on what these new choices are, because new choices become new habits.
That's
So
right.
breaking old habits is hard. Creating new habits is much easier. It's easier to give birth to something, um, and to create something new. So this is really predictable transformation. And every client has a guide. In this case, I put Margaret's picture, my wife, up there. But the support is extensive. Obviously, the meal plan is where many people start. You're well aware, I'm sure, of the overweight and obesity epidemic in America.
I just spent the weekend at Disney. I'm
Yes,
very well aware of it.
yeah, pretty scary. Pretty
Right.
scary. And you're well aware of this progression, obviously, in
Mhm.
cardiovascular diseases,
Yep.
of course, the leading cause of death. This slide is adapted from the Cleveland Clinic, and it simply shows the healing effects of weight loss. And the fact is, 95% of the diseases that healthcare professionals treat are directly related to um, habits that do not support their health,
Right.
and overweight and obesity. And we can obviously see dramatic improvement, complete resolution or improvement in all of these medical conditions. And
Plus risk factors for cancer, really. I mean, taking it even further, for sure.
exactly.
Yep.
No, you're exactly right. And the other thing that I think is kind of humbling is the language we accept as normal, like chronic disease. Most chronic disease is chronic simply because we haven't addressed the root causes.
That is exactly right.
Right.
I'm with you. Yep.
So, there you have it. And with all due respect to other health professionals, I can say this, I am one. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue, not because they aren't smart or compassionate, but because their model is disease centric. Right? It's about reacting to disease, which is very important to do. I spent years doing that. But we can be healers as well as fixers. And so what we offer people and healthcare professionals is the understanding that it's really our habits and choices, which leads me to a side note. But there is a movie, I don't know if you've seen it, it's called Escape Fire.
Oh, very much so. I know Dr. Aaron Martin is in that movie.
Yeah. So you're familiar with that, which I
Oh,
think
of course. Yeah.
is wonderful.
Yes.
So we know managing disease is not health. That's self-evident. I'm not saying we shouldn't do that if we need to, but that's not health. What about exercise? There are a lot of myths about exercise. In fact, one of the major efforts of Coca-Cola now is to convince people that nutrition has nothing to do with the overweight and obesity epidemic.
Right. Right. That's right. Not the 80% that it has to do with it.
Right, right, exactly. And we know that to burn a pound of fat, the average person has to walk 35 miles. We obviously know and support and understand the many benefits of exercise. Having said that, adding a pound of muscle is also very helpful, but it burns 70 calories a day. This takes a lot of work, focus, and motivation. And we obviously want people to be active, both aerobically and anaerobically, building endurance. The Coca-Cola issue you're well aware of. And here's just one example of an article from obesity. After 1 year of exercising 6 to 7 hours a week, men lost an average of 3.5 pounds and women lost an average of 2.5 pounds. I'm an exercise nut. I love to exercise. In fact, I just got back from an hour and a half of pretty strenuous exercise. But obviously, you can't out exercise your fork, as you well know. So
Oh, I love that. Yes, I was just about to say that. You can't out exercise a bad diet. That's right.
um, so this is really where we begin with people. And this is really the most important thing to understand, Michele, because we use meal replacements, but they are simply a tool. The vehicle is an understanding that it's our choices that determine predictably our health path,
Hmm.
which no one would argue with. But what we're able to do is connect the dots. That's really what I'm saying, because most people are really not aware of their choices. They're not mindful.
Right.
They're making choices and really not really thinking about what they want or the consequences. So we are continually coming back to mindfulness and awareness because we can create new habits and choices. That's self-evident. 5 years ago, Stacy actually was in Disneyland walking with a cane.
Right.
And last April, she ran a marathon. So these are the kinds of transformations we're looking at. In terms of what we do, we have we have tools that we share with people. And just in terms of what I do as a coach, just so you know, I don't have inventory. I don't sell anything. I simply have conversations with people, and if they're ready to move forward, there are offerings I have for them with a network of support, which we'll discuss. So our main offering is the 5-in-1 plan, and I'll share that with you. We also have a maintenance plan for people who want help maintaining their weight. We have a Habits-Fell system, which is really quite remarkable and is being improved upon. And everyone has a coach who guides them on their path. So this is about gaining health. And I know you know this, but focusing on this, I think, is very important because most people are focused on losing weight.
Right.
What they don't understand is getting rid of something doesn't create anything, right? Problem solving is in a fundamentally different direction than the creative process. The creative process is here, right? Right? That's where the
That's right.
creative process begins. So we certainly help people reach a healthy weight, but the focus is to maintain it by learning healthy habits so we now can navigate through an obesogenic environment. The 5-in-1 plan has had a lot of changes over time. 35 years ago, and we use MetaFast meals, as you may know. We represent over 70% of MetaFast, so it should be called Take Shape for Life. I'm just saying.
Right.
But, the meal replacements are time-tested and proven. They're very good. The plan we use to help people lose weight is called the 5-in-1, 5 MetaFast meals and 1 lean and green. Now, what makes this structured meal plan unique, different than others? I'm not even talking about the Habitsville system and the coaching, just the meal plan. So we are light years ahead of other meal replacement companies, and let me share the reasons for that. Number one, we obviously have a scientific advisory board. These meals are medically formulated. Some other companies may have that. Johns Hopkins has been using this meal plan for 35 years. Dr. Larry Cheskin, who's internationally known in wellness and weight loss. We have over 80 varieties of portion control meal replacements, and they're interchangeable. So if someone wants to have the MetaFast eggs for breakfast, they can. They could also have the chocolate drink, the bar. We have tons of different bars. They could have the soup, or they could have the MetaFast cookie. They're getting essentially the same nutrients. So why is that important? People can have whatever they want. So if we had only 2 or 3 varieties of breakfast, it wouldn't work if someone doesn't like the eggs or the oatmeal or the cereal, whatever.
Right.
But they actually are all interchangeable, so that's pretty powerful. The one refers to a lean and green. This people purchase and prepare separately. We have recipes. And the lean and green is a healthy serving of vegetables or salad, lean meat, poultry, or fish. We have vegetarian options as well. And the variety, the meal replacements, by the way, continues to grow. We will, in short order, have more than 80. So this is what this plan really represents, Michele, is it's the catalyst for long-term change because people are successful. It's affordable for people. So the first month is $310 for a month of MetaFast meals, for 30 days of MetaFast meals. And we have kits. This is simple. It's easy. It's not complicated. And by the way, when I work with clients, I place their first order or do it with them so they don't have to worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Simply say, here's what you've got. You've got a kit with the books that's a little more expensive. We encourage that, but if people don't want the books right away, that's fine. There are many other support pieces that reflect what's in the books. We have meals for people on the go. Our air conditioner man got on this program 1 month ago. He said, I'm in my truck all day. I mean, he was fixing our air conditioner pump and actually could hardly get up from the floor. I offered to help him. He refused, and we ended up having a conversation. He said, I'd love to learn what you do. And anyway, so we have meals to suit people's needs is really what I'm saying. And a great deal of variety. We have gluten-free meals, all that stuff. So this is really simple and affordable for people. The Be Slim Club itself offers free shipping and discounts. So at most, this program is $12 a day. People simply redirect their food dollar from the supermarket to the program as long as they're doing it. So most people.
Do they add their own fruits and vegetables?
The 5-in-1, just to be clear, is 5 MetaFast meals a day and a lean and green.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay, so for 1 meal a day, they'll have vegetables probably.
They'll have a lean and green. That's correct.
Great. Okay.
And we don't. So for this program to work for people while they're losing weight, we don't have fruit. We don't have wine with dinner.
No.
Right? I'm just saying. And can people, are people going to be eating fruit and alcohol if they like, obviously in moderation, when they're in maintenance? Absolutely.
Sure.
The reason they're not a part of the program is self-evident, because the amount of sugar, sucrose in fruit, and the effects of alcohol will retard or completely stop a person's weight loss and get them out of the mild fat burning state, which they get into within 3 to 4 days. Right?
So it's ketogenic. Is that the idea? Is that it's?
Well, Michele, as you know, depending on how sensitive your ketone assays are, anytime someone is burning fat and losing weight, they're in a state of they have ketones in their urine.
Sure.
And that ketosis can be mild or severe. We don't use that word because it's a rabbit hole people go down.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes, that's right.
So
Yep.
people will Google diabetic ketoacidosis and think,
Oh, yeah.
die. So
Right.
you say a mild fat burning state, but you're absolutely
Perfect.
right. So it what's remarkable about this program, I've been doing this for 8 years now. My wife and I have coached probably close to 1,000 people. Um, the the nutrients in this 5-in-1 plan is approximately 2,000 calories worth of nutrients, but the calories themselves are 850 to 1,000. Now, again, this program has been around for 35 years.
Hmm.
So FDA approved, inspected, USDA, all that works.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
There simply are the only safety issues with this program is when doctors don't adjust the medications downward for people who don't need them, because
Totally.
those the only issues I have had to deal with, and that's unusual because I always say make sure your doctor's on board.
Right.
Um, so, and when people say to me, and I'm sure you know the answer, if they say, "Well, Dr. Nelson, I can't live on 850 or 900,000 calories a day," I say, "I agree with you." And then they sort of look at me like, "Well, are you crazy?" And I say, "Well, where do you think the other calories come from?" Well, they come from fat. That's how we lose weight, right? So this is a mild fat burning state, yes.
Perfect.
And so, just in terms of a summary of the offering to a client, um, obviously it's affordable. They're learning new choices and habits of health along the way. Putting them in a position to really take responsibility for their health and make good decisions with support, by the way, that never goes away, whether they're on the program or not. So it's cost neutral. Actually, most people are saving money, but the benefits are far greater than that. And the weight maintenance program, these are meals that are more robust, because here people are not losing weight. People can calculate their total energy expenditure, and they can pick a sample meal plan. Now, one of the principles of moving forward, of course, is one of the core habits of health, which is frequent, small, healthy, low glycemic meals, as
Yep.
opposed to 1 or 2, 3 meals a day, 5 to
Yep.
6 meals a day. So that's all integrated into everything we do. Um, I don't know if Tom has shared these books with you, but the Habits of Health book that Dr. Anderson wrote is not a medical text, thank God, but it's really a wonderful review of habits of health in very simple, straightforward language. Again, losing weight being one part of that structure, and a personal workbook for people called Living a Longer, Healthier Life, where people can think about and reflect on where they are currently, where they'd like to go, and the different steps they can take to move their health forward in terms of nutrition and weight, in terms of reducing stress, in terms of movement, in terms of more recuperative sleep. So the path is really paved, and they are, when a client says to me, "Well, are you going to get me healthy?" I say, "No, you're going to get you healthy.
That's right.
I'm just going to give you the support and structure," right? Because if they want to do it, they can. Anyway, all this work's been done. We do have programs, systems, science, and support. Happy to send you information if you'd like. There's a community, obviously, that people can be a part of. We have many robust online support pieces for people. But most of all, a coach who's there for them to answer questions and guide them. So that is an overview of the program. Um, and obviously in terms of my work as a coach, just to make it clear, I work with, predominantly health professionals, but Margaret and I work with coaches, some of whom are health professionals, some of whom aren't. Um, we've we've linked this program to a really integrated business model that, quite frankly, is just as simple and straightforward as the program. If you ever want me to share that with you, I'm happy to. But most of all, I wanted to show you what the program was, because I think that's most relevant at this time.
That's great. Yeah, perfect. That was very helpful.
Well, good. I'm glad. So let me just get rid of that. Wonderful.
You can stop recording too if you want to do that.
Yeah.